tulipoandika hii proposal, sisi tulikuwa tunafikiri tuandike proposal ya 100,000. Lakini tukaambiwa sasa nyinyi mnafanya mambo environment. Tulikuwa tunaambiwa mambo ya 2,000,000, nikafikiri tutapewa 2,000,000 kweli sisi. Sikuwa naamini.
Tutawapatia shilingi milioni 320 kwa hawa PMUs for matters alternative livelihood, kwa sababu tuko na mpango maalum. Mimi nimesema tutakuwa na wizara ya blue economy, sio kwa guesswork, sio kwa kubahatisha, sio kwa karata, ni kwa mpango, kwa sababu nataka tufungue ile opportunity na ile potential iko katika blue economy ambayo imekwama kwa siku nyingi, na imekwama kwa sababu ya kukosekana mpango maalum.
Tumeanza hii kazi ya restoration from 2012. Ndio tulianza kazi ya restoration. Hapo nyuma tulikuwa tunafanya uvuvi. Baba zetu walikuwa wanafanya uvuvi. Lakini baada ya mikoko kuharibika na kudistractiwa, ilibidi samaki wakawa wanakimbia. Tukawa hatuna alternative. Wengi wetu tukakimbia huku kwetu, tukaenda mijini kutafuta shughuli. Lakini baada ya muda kuona pia mijini nako kumekauka, tulirudi.
Then we're going to have a shared health record. Right now, my dad does not for months. Every time we go to a hospital, we have to carry the file. So when we do that, we've got a permanent solution.
There is also sometimes an exercise.
Yes, actually, it's cut into 4. The A4, it's cut into a couple of sections. So you carry it everywhere you go. If you don't have it, you can't get it. But now with this shared health record, everywhere I go to the Bagadi for 2 instructions. If I actually go, you have a record.
On the digital platform, there is no more book now.
So this is a journey we're on. If you give me a second, let's show you what we need. This is I put this dashboard in what you've been able to register. We have 22 million people registered. 22.9 million people registered. What is encouraging for me is over here, the average age of registration. Average age of registration is 33. Which is the age is going lower. When we began, it was 38. Now it's going lower, lower, lower. That means there's an opportunity to have a lot of young people register out of the program. When you register with this program, it makes things a bit easier. You get healthcare anywhere you go.
Last night I saw the number was 60,000.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Can you check Homa?
I can check for you. I have to pull the record. I can check.
No,
for
it's
you.
okay. But that yeah. Did you transition? 9
You know, we transitioned those 3.4 from NHIF.
Yes.
That is 3.4 came from NHIF. New registration is 19 years.
Yeah.
So actually, with your permission, that transition client was a bigger number.
It was 9 million,
Yeah,
isn't
it
it?
was like a 12 million.
Yeah.
But now, just because you've been transitioned, you have to actually opt in. So that number has reduced from that high number to now 3 million. We are actively, so these active ones are people who are using the platform day to day.
Now, if you look at registration trend in the last 7 days, that's the last 7 days. Yeah. So on 23rd, it was 53,000 all the way. 29th is yesterday. 61,000.
61,000. Yeah.
Yesterday, the registration of yesterday.
Yeah.
Today, already 2,000 people have registered for morning.
I got this report, I think, an hour ago.
Yes.
That's why it's saying it's only 2,000. But if you can pass by later, the number will be a bit. We're hoping that will be
So the registration is really really, there's a lot of confidence that has been built into.
And Your Excellency, the shark, right now,
you know, weekends is where it goes down to 25 and 19. Those are now Saturday and Sunday.
yeah.
But then Monday it picks up. Now Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's the psychology.
Something interesting we see also. Something called a pass. You only go to you only register. You see that hopefully next time.
We've been supporting our farmers since we came. This is what we started. This is data assembly. We started planting flowers. Farmers started receiving support since Christmas. From Christmas to this year, we've served around 700,000 farmers. Yesterday we served 6,000. We have transacted a lot of money, but we not interested in farmers. So what we want to do now is talk about
So you have given out 5.6 million budget.
given out 5.6 since inception. From inception, we've transacted it's past almost 20 million bucks. Transacted almost 1 billion.
1 billion of fertilizer. Since we put this e-voucher,
E-voucher subsidy.
not this e-voucher, that's money from. you cannot buy fertilizer unless you use your poacher. And that poacher, you have to register. The chief has to know that it's 3 acres. The agricultural officer has to tick it off, and the county government has to agree that that is your land. Because we used to have ghost farmers. Somebody has 2,000 acres that don't exist. So they buy fertilizer and then they go and sell.
Yes. If I could pick your interest, we're also doing now vaccines.
Yes. Yeah. We say we also moved the vaccines. You know, people used to go collect cows and go and charge the cows, and then we don't know which cow has been charged, which one has been done, which one has been done.
Right now we're serving farmers in vaccination.
Yes.
We serve around 2,400 farmers. We have around 7 animal health systems. It's a small pilot, but with your help,
Yeah,
of
we
course.
say no. We have agreed. We had a meeting last week. We have agreed on the scale up. This was a pilot.
This way.
Can help us do many things. Yes, who is explaining to us the port? Yes. Where is Uhuru Bay? They are not as symmetrical and they are jumping up. There's nowhere. Okay. This is the post. Bandari. Very good. Are you training more young people?
Yes, they are there. They are just going to go to the press.
Very good. Very good. Habari zenu? So you are just about to join? Yeah. The sheep. The sheep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is after you are saying you are training how many?
I've trained over 10,000. Now what we're doing is we've negotiated some credential program with the liners. So Mask is on boarding, Messi is on boarding, and now we are negotiating with the Evergreen to a 10-seater. And then also we are finalizing the COCs for recognition. So Excellency, within the year, you will see a good number going out there.
Because the statistics show that we have a shortage of almost 700,000 maritime personnel in different
So the other countries are losing interest. Ours, we've been under 1%. But now, with this training, we will see a big one. Philippines, the generation is not so keen to join the ships. But ours, we're going to be occupying the space.
Good luck. Thank you.
Yeah, we spoke yesterday. Yeah. And we will figure out with the council. Yeah, we will do it. We'll partner it up with Maritime.
Maritime training.
Yeah.
Because they have all the resources necessary for the training.
Yeah, the water is there.
The number, no, we have already
Customized.
we already did the model with other teams. So it's easy to just come in.
Very good.
In Kisumu, yes.
Okay. Asanteni sana. And my very best wishes. Guys. Habari ya shipline. Very good. Habari ya samaki kahawa.
Good morning, sir. Welcome, sir.
How are you, Bana Shosho?
Fine, thank you, sir. Very good. Welcome,
See, it's a game changer.
Morning, how are you, Bana Mboya?
Very good. My name is Marshall Mboya, and I'm the trainer. This innovation is called self-solar powered aerator, and it is designed to add extra air inside the water mass. This comes with multiple advantages. One is that it enables farmers to support the stock density. This means that the founder of initially would only stock up to 1,000, and now comfortably do 4,000. It also reduces the time period used to farm fish from 8 months to 5 months, meaning that now in a year, farmers can have 2 harvesting seasons.
Injecting more oxygen.
Yes. So they can have 2 harvesting seasons in which they quadruple their profits and produce. This machine is a game changer, sir, and it now means that we can, with this employed, our farmers can be able to produce more. It puts us as a global leader or a global leader in fish production, moving us closer to achieving food security. And not only that, it's an opportunity to commercialize to train and also create employment for themselves in maintaining and producing similar machines. My request to you, sir, is that you would help me patent this machine and help me upscale this machine so that farmers across Kenya can be able to use this machine in their farms to set them apart from our neighbors and be a regional leaders in fish production.
Hassan Joho knows what to do.
Yes. So this is the smallest version we have, serving a 200 meter square pond, but we have bigger versions. One for the 300 meter square pond, which is the standard ponds across the nation. It goes for 80,000. There's a larger one for the cage farmers, for a single farmer going for 120,000. Then there's one industrial size one that we're planning to have 20 farmers, 20 cage farmers in a circle. Have this machine, the industrial size one in the middle, so that it serves all these farmers, so that they can all upgrade that one goes for 500,000.
We have had an engagement.
Yes.
We have a way for it. Tutapangana na Mboga. Tulikubaliana.
Very good.
Yes.
Madam, move kabisa. Madam, level up.
Let's move.
Bana.
Yes, what is that? General, how are you? Very good. Habari, Mwalimu? Very good. Hello, how are you? Sir, welcome to the Center of Excellence. Yes. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, Colonel. Thank you.
When you are officially embryo,
Yes.
9th October 2015, you directed that you come up with a Center of Excellence. And we came up with a memorandum of understanding between Mboya University and Energy.
Very good.
My managing director,
Yes.
Farhan, the vice chancellor.
Okay. So you already have a collab?
Yes.
Very good.
Signed the MOU.
Yes.
Sir, the objectives of the Center of Excellence is, first of all, promotion of partnership and
explain. Yes. Thank you.
Promotion of partnerships and collaboration. We collaborate with all MDAs and other institutions.
Just make it faster.
Yes, yes. Advanced research, technology in shipping, development of skilled workforce and talent. Lastly, to spur economic growth. The key components are talented workforce development, innovation and research collaboration, technology transfer, and broad partnerships. So this is a sketch map of the area of Mboya University, and they have allocated us 24 acres in the center of excellence. Yes, sir. Sir, we can move now to the model. This is the side. It's a beautiful facility. So this is just phase 1 of the center of excellence. Phase 2 will be followed by accommodation spaces. Phase 3 we're going to have a fire school. Phase 4 we're going to have a diving center and a swimming pool. Okay. Yes, sir.
The accommodation part, you leave it to me. I'll tell you how we are going to do the accommodation.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, sir.
And you can continue with the... So when are you beginning this?
Immediately we get funding, we will commence. Procurement procedures.
We will discuss with the professor here how to organize it.
The one who was supposed to talk to you about
Kindly requesting the security officers to sign the annex. We keep the doors clear. We'll be having His Excellency walking in anytime now, so please let's keep these doors clear. For those of us in the auditorium, once we have found our seats, we'll kindly request you take your seat. You'll be guided when to stand up as His Excellency is.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Kila jinsi la sifa njema ni lako Mola mlenzi wa viumbe vyote, mfalme wa siku ya misho. Ya Allah, ambaye aliyeumba mbingu na ardhi, udumishe taifa letu amani, upendo, umoja, undugu na maendeleo ya Allah. Ya Allah, umjalie kiongozi wetu Rais Ruto, ya Allah umpe afya na maisha marefu. Umjalie kinara wetu Baba Raila Amolo Odinga. Umjalie gavana wetu pendwa. Ya Allah, uwajalie waziri wetu, uwajalie viongozi wetu. ulinde hafla hii nasi, uanze nasi, umalize nasi. Amina ya rabbal alamin.
Hallelujah. God is good and all the time. Shall we pray? Our Father and our God, we come before you this morning with thanksgiving in our hearts. We give you glory, honor, and adoration. Lord, we thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for preservation. We thank you for protection. We thank you for the peace and serenity, Lord, across the length and breadth of this nation. We thank you, Lord, for bringing to us leaders today in this county of Homa Bay. Thank you, Lord, as points of contact to transform this county of Homa Bay. Thank you for our president, our governor, and that to use and to bless. For being with us over the past 2 days in this conference. We thank you for Hitch-Free Conference, Impactful Conference, and for speakers that we have continued to use. Once again, Lord, today we invite your presence. We commit the guest speaker today, His Excellency, the President, Ruto, into your able hands as we lead this discussion on how to exploit, on how to manage, and to use the important resources that you have given to us for us and for the future generation. Once again, Lord, we ask you to bless this nation, bless leadership at all levels, bless the president, bless the deputy president, and all arms of government. Father, this nation belongs to you, and we continue to put it into your able hands, Lord. Bless the day, and let your name be glorified. For it is in Jesus' precious name we pray.
Your Excellency, I kindly request that you take our seats. Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces. Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, Governor Homa Bay County, Her Excellency Gladys Wanga, Governors present, Cabinet Secretaries present, Principal Secretaries present, all members of Parliament present, all national and county government leaders present, residents of Homa Bay and the citizens of this great nation. Your Excellency, sir, with your permission, allow me to call the CS, Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs, Honorable Joho, to come and open up this session for us. Makofi ya Joho, karibu sana.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Your Excellency, Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, colleague CSs, members of Parliament, Excellency Governor Gladys Atieno Wanga, Nya Homa Bay, Adinade, Ontie, Umor, Owir. Good. Your Excellency, we are happy to host you here today together with the Prime Minister. Homa Bay. Ber Kusokuber. Very good. Your Excellency, we have had 2 days conversation over here to discuss on how we can unlock the potential in our blue economy space. Yesterday, we said there are people who look after gold, real gold. Others are looking after what is now defined as black gold, and we are now be looking after our blue gold. But you allow me, Your Excellency, I want to very quickly invite one of our very strong partner to make some brief remarks before I invite Governor and other colleagues. The National Chairman of BMU, my brother Tom Kuja Usemi. Tom Guda.
Asante sana Waziri. His Excellency the President, Baba Raila Odinga, all protocol observed. I'm the national chairman of the beach management units in the Republic of Kenya. And Rais, I think I just met you a few minutes ago, and we agreed we are going to partner in this business. So for us, ours is simple. We are in a government that is working on practicable doables. And we have agreed that the lives of the fisherfolk are going to change now forever. And we have agreed that every intervention in this Madaraka Day, the 62nd, must be fisherfolk centered. And with those, His Excellency, the rest, utajaza. Asante sana.
Your Excellency, huyu ndio chairman wetu. Na very practical man. He means what he says what he means. Your Excellency, if you allow me very quickly, I would like to invite the governor of this great county of Homa Bay, Gladys Atieno Nyasuna Wanga.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Your Excellency, Prime Minister, Right Honorable Raila Odinga, governors and leaders, na watu wa Homa Bay, hamjambo. Your Excellency, we've been here for the last 2 days. We've been having conversations with the private sector, conversations with the leadership of the BMUs, and the BMUs are here from across. Asanteni sana, because they are key stakeholders in this sector. Before I say just 2 or 3 things, I'd just like to acknowledge the leaders who are here, the members of the National Assembly, tafadhali, Honorable Martin Owino, Ward Chief, our PS, Karen, our Eliud Owalo from the DPS, asante sana, Honorable Kajwang TJ, Senator Beatrice Ogola, Honorable Adipo Andrew Okwome, our whip in the National Assembly, Honorable Millie Mabona, Honorable Dr. Lillian Gogo, Honorable Bensuda, Honorable Karoli, Honorable Area MP, Honorable Pito Pondokaluma, PS for Medical Services, Dr. Luga, Dr. Raymond Omolo, and the entire team that is here, PS Ahari Kimtai, PS Betsy Njagi, Sinyangala, Beatrice, asanteni sana for making time to be here with us. Our majority leader in the county assembly, together with members of the county assembly. My deputy governor, His Excellency Joseph Oyugi Maguang. We are all here, Your Excellency, for this conversation. Your Excellency, first I'd like to thank you and Baba for allowing this year's Madaraka Day to be celebrated here in Homa Bay County. On top of that, there couldn't be a more fitting theme than the blue economy and maritime affairs to be discussed in Homa Bay, because 80% of Kenya's Lake Victoria is here in Homa Bay. In our conversations, first, when you came here in 2023, we discussed about the Homa Bay Pier, which had been here and broken down. And we're happy that today, after this, you will be opening a brand new pier here in Homa Bay on the matter of maritime affairs, including a brand new fish market that has cold storage that can store fish actually from across. Even traders can pick it from here and take it with them wherever they are going. So that is very, very good progress. There's also the Lake Victoria Ferry, which is currently under development, which will ply the Lake Victoria route. On the partnership between Mboya University and the Kenya Shipyard, which will work on training. This is the Blue Economy University, and we are happy that the of excellence will be right. Excellency, as I finish, we agreed that today our stakeholders are going to leave here with practical solutions and certain key things. One of them being security of our fisherfolk on the lake, Victoria. Second of it being sustainability of our fishing on the lake, including how to complement it and how to make it possible for us to have fished yesterday, to fish today, to fish tomorrow, and for our children and great-grandchildren to continue to fish. third of it is on the area of how our fisherfolk can be supported to be able to survive. And what they've done, which I'm happy with, is they've set up, among the 143 BMUs, they've set up a SACCO, which we have supported as the county government and could also use some support so that they're able to get the correct fishing gear and everything else. Your Excellency, finally, is the issue of value addition to our fish. Because we have private sector partners like Victory Farms doing a very good job. And we could use more fish processors so that when we get our fish out, we're able to process it here and sell it out there. Your Excellency, those were the conversations that we had. And we said that this conference must be by the people, for the people, and making sense to the people. Allow me to thank your minister, Uyu Hassan Ali Joho, because we didn't just come and sit in this hall. When he came together with his peers and the team, we went kwa mashinani. Tumeenda Ngeri huko beach. We have gone to the beach here in Achich to support our farmers practically. Allow me to introduce my colleague governors, Governor James Bob Agri Orengo, who is seated in the room, just to wave for now, and also Governor Professor Peter Anyang' Nyong'o, who is also in the room. I'm sure there will be some time, and also our ministers, CS John Mbadi and CS Opio Wandai. Nimechukua kazi yote. Asante sana. Thank you.
Asante. Your Excellency, huyu governor amechukua kazi yangu yote. She broke down on our conversation. She introduced even my colleagues. But what we achieved, Your Excellency, yesterday is to capture the aspirations of the people of the Lake region and agree on a partnership going forward. So, Your Excellency, we have agreed on the areas the Governor has touched on. What is most important is that we have agreed on a partnership going forward. So, I want to assure you that we have briefed the President. He's now fully aware, and I am sure he will engage you on the issues to do with the support programs, the support infrastructure, the value chain, the market access, the security issues, and the larger conversation on sustainability on our lake. Governor was very right. We must be able to fish today, we must be able to fish tomorrow, and the day after, and the future. And Your Excellency, we also had an engagement on the mobility and the connectivity of the lake region. Our people should be able to move freely and trade freely from one point to another. And that is why, Your Excellency, I'm very happy that today you're coming as part of your program to launch the first ever pier built here. That is a game changer for our lake region. So, Your Excellency, the theme, our water, our wealth, is more strategic, rightfully placed, and the conversation we need to have as a country. Are we together? Ber kusokuber. Vizuri sio vizuri. So without much ado, allow me to ask all of us to be upstanding and welcome His Excellency, the President, Dr. William Ruto, to make some remarks. Karibu, Mheshimiwa Rais.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. The Right Honorable Raila Odinga, Baba himself, Governor Peter, Governor James, Governor Gladys, CSS, members of Parliament, MCS led by the majority leader, and I can see he's truly majority, just by size. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a wonderful morning, and we have come here intentionally. And I want to thank Hassan Joho and his team at the Ministry of Mining and Blue Economy for putting together this conference so that we can have a candid conversation about blue gold, about our waters, which in his words, our waters, our wealth. The blue economy space hasn't been developed sufficiently to contribute meaningfully to both our gross domestic product, but also food security, jobs, and to our economy. And it is the reason why it became necessary to organize this sector better. And I'll just give you a summary of what has happened over the last 3 years. Guda here and his team of beach management units will tell you these beach management units for a long time were social organizations dealing with social issues, organizing a funeral for a friend who has died, and many other things. But we realized that it is not possible to organize this blue economy and the fish sector without the ultimate stakeholders, that is the fisher folk. And to be able to organize this sector, it was necessary first to organize the ultimate stakeholders. And it is the reason why we took up the responsibility to transform the beach management units from social organizations into economic units. We have registered all the beach management units across Kenya, and we have 450 of them. That was step one. Step two, we're now moving these beach management units and organizing them into cooperatives so that they begin to appropriate the place of marketing, of organizing the fishing, and also making sure that this becomes a commercial entity, and the beach management units, being cooperatives, can then begin to provide linkages for fishing, for making sure that the fish is processed, and ultimately the route to market. We have already completed the training and the movement of beach management units. Of the 450, 180 have already been trained, and they have already been registered as cooperatives. I am informed by Joho and his team that they will complete the process of training and transitioning the BMUs into cooperatives and economic units by July this year. It is the base upon which we are going to build the growth of the blue economy and the fishing sector. That was number one. We also, as we organized these beach management units, it became necessary for us to empower them, to give them some resources so that they can begin to organize themselves. So far, Guda here, being the national chairman, will tell you we have already given grants to the BMUs that we have organized amounting to 3.2 billion shillings. There is still some money left, about 200 million for the ones that we have not reached out to. And it is our intention to build the capacity of these beach management units into cooperatives, and ultimately they will have SACCOs. I must congratulate Homa Bay and Mr. Oremo here, the chair of Homa Bay Beach Management Units, and also Governor Wanga for supporting the SACCO. Already the county government has given support to the circle of the fisher folk and the BMUs that have organized themselves into cooperatives and eventually have a circle. And apart from the grant, we're now organizing them, as I have said, to take the place and to work with us in the rest of the infrastructure that we are building to support the blue economy. I will give you 3 places where, as government, we are investing to make sure that this sector, the potential that exists in this sector, we can be able to unlock it. And just for numbers, so that you know where we are. Today, the fish space, the blue economy space, is contributing between 30 and 40 billion shillings. The potential is between 300 and 500 billion shillings every year. So in terms of where we are very far from attaining the true potential of the blue economy. And therefore, it is necessary for us to build the blocks that will take us to unlocking the potential that exists in the blue economy. What are the steps we are taking? Number 1, it is necessary to build, as I said, capacity around the men and women in this space. That we have already done. Number 2, it is necessary to build the infrastructure to support this space. I was in Kabonyo with Governor Nyong'o. We are doing a fish fingerling farm there, hatchery, with the support from partners of 1.3 billion shillings. That will bring between 7 and 10 million fingerlings every quarter, so that we can support the production and development of fish. It will help us feed into fish cages and all the other spaces, the aquaculture space, including ultimately assisting us to restock Lake Victoria. That construction is going on as I talk to you. There is also a similar construction in Kwale, Namaret. And I want to thank the ministry for taking leadership and pushing the contractors to make sure that we get that space moving. Because we also run a risk if overfishing takes place, we run the risk of undermining the potential in this sector. So development of hatchery infrastructure to make sure that we have enough fish in all our aquaculture spaces, including ultimately restocking our waters. Number 2, it becomes also necessary for us to provide the infrastructure for handling fish and processing fish. What have we done? In the last 3 years, we have completed 4 fish landing sites along the Indian Ocean coast, and we have completed 3 fish landing sites along the lake. I was in Mulkoba in Busia last year. Luanda Kotieno is already working. In fact, Luanda Kotieno in Siaya is the best example we have of how a fish landing site should operate. And I want to thank the county government of Siaya for working with the private sector and the fish landing, the fisher folk and the BMUs and the cooperatives in Siaya to now unlock the potential of fishing in that space. And today, Luanda Kotieno is among the profitable landing sites that is taking place in Kenya. We have also finished the fish landing site in Sori, here in Migori. That is complete, and I have instructed Joho to work with the governor so that we can hand it over in the next few days. Again, the model is that the fish community there, the fisher folk, the BMUs, the cooperatives that have been set up, work with the county government, rope in the private sector to help them with the management so that we can again have a win-win outcome in that space. So already 4 are completed in the coast, 3 are completed here in Lake Victoria, and because we can see the potential that exists there, we're now building another 5 fish landing sites in the coast and 9 fish landing sites in Lake Victoria. We have committed 1.5 billion shillings, and we have the money, Joho has the money, to be able to build the 9 fish landing sites along the Lake Victoria shores. Here in Homa Bay, Nyandiwa is going to have a fish landing site. Mainuga is going to have a fish landing site. And which one? Wakula. So we have 3 fish landing sites, and we are committing 450 million shillings to build those 3 here in Homa Bay County. Nyasuna here keeps telling me that 70% of the lake is in Homa Bay. And she's trying to intimidate everybody into submission. So, my instructions to the ministry is that we complete the procurement. We've done the architectural designs. We're working on completing the procurement, and we should be able to build those fish landing sites in the next 1 year and complete them. All the 9, including the 3 in Homa Bay. As part of our plan to make sure that, 1, fisher folk have cold room facilities. They can have enough ice for them to go into the lake for 2-3 days, sufficient so that their fish don't get spoiled. There is also basic processing facility at the fish landing site, and organize the people in that space for marketing, including what we are going to be doing today, launching the fish market here in Homa Bay. So that is part of improving the infrastructure that is necessary for us to build this industry and sector into commercial viability. Number 3, it is also necessary for us to scale up and broaden the space around aquaculture. And here in Lake Victoria, fish cages becomes the next step. I'm very happy that already we have 50 units of fish cages, 54. We are in the process of procuring another 55. So that we can expand opportunities for production, commercial production here in Lake Victoria. And as you are aware, each fish cage can do up to 33,000 fingerlings and grow them in 7 months. We're trying to reduce on the time taken from 7 months to maybe 5 months. We are looking at research. Kefri is helping us with research so that we can have a quicker turnaround of the fish cages that we have. We're also looking at how do we enhance the motorability and mobility of our fisher folk. We already have distributed 120 fish boats in Mombasa and its environs. And with Kenya Shipyard, we are now working on developing a fish port that is suited to the waters of Lake Victoria. I am aware that many of the fishing boats now we have are the wooden ones. And we lose a lot of people. Almost 5,000 fishermen die every year as they try and earn a living because of capsizing and many of these other things. So we have asked the ministry to work with the shipyard so that we can develop fiber fish boats. I think we already have the first. We already have the first 4 that were done as models. We're going to see how they pan out, and then we will now work with the shipyard to make sure that we produce enough and replace all the dangerous wooden boats with modern fishing boats. So that exercise is ongoing as we work with the fisher folk and all the BMUs and all the cooperatives that have been built around that space. And then lastly is matter security. It is very important because there is a lot of insecurity in our waters. Both between different groups of fishermen, and I want to encourage the fisher folk. As government, we have identified areas for breeding of fish. It is not right for any BMU or any group to go and fish in areas of breeding because it undermines the whole industry. And I know that some of the fights occur when certain rogue groups try to go and fish in these identified areas. We are going to find a better way of securing those areas and managing those areas so that we reduce the conflicts between the different groups. But we know also that we have serious security issues as a result of our neighbors. And I did send Minister Joho to engage his colleague in Uganda and Tanzania. There is currently a conversation that is going on between our 3 countries so that we can find a way of having a uniform license for all our fishermen to avoid this country arresting that country's people and the rest of what's going on at the moment. So that conversation is going on. We are scaling it up. If once the ministers finish with what they are doing, we are going to scale it up to the level of the heads of state, where you know I am now the chairman of the East African community. So Hassan, you have some homework to do there so that we can be able to complete that process sooner rather than later. We are also working with the Coast Guard, and I saw Shiosho somewhere. Yeah, this the Director General of Coast Guard, so that we can have a sustainable surveillance mechanism for our waters. We have deployed several policing boats. There is a challenge of sustainability. Sometimes they don't have enough fuel. So I want us to work together with the BMUs and with the counties to see how we can make those security boats much more versatile, that they can do more surveillance, and to make sure that there is rescue and there is protection of our fishermen and women as they undertake their exercise. So in a nutshell, I am saying that we are we have identified the blue economy as one of the areas that we have huge potential. It is contributing only 0.4% to our GDP, when it can actually contribute maybe 6-7 times what it is contributing at the moment, maybe even 10 times. So this is an area of focus, and I am very confident with the team in the Ministry of Mining and Blue Economy under my friend Hassan Joho and the two PSS. So I want to encourage Guda and his team. You know very well that we have met many times, and you know very well that I am personally committed to this sector, and we will continue to look at opportunities for unlocking this potential. Finally, because we want to play at the next level, I have agreed with the ministry that we also buy deep sea fishing boats. We've committed 600 million shillings from government of Kenya because the potential we have in the Indian Ocean is huge. 1.2 billion, sorry. 1.2 billion to buy at least 15, between 15 and 20 deep sea fishing boats that can go into the ocean for 10 days or thereabout, because that way we can achieve faster the targets that we have. We have also now licensed 24 huge trawling facilities in our waters with Kenyan flags, and we have insisted that they must land the fish in Kenya before they go anywhere. We are also commercializing Liwatoni. I have agreed with Joho that there is no reason why we should continue putting public money in some of these facilities. The private sector can do it better. So we are working on that and many of the other facilities that we have. And I want to encourage the fisher folk and our partners at the county that let us mainstream the participation of the private sector so that we can leverage on making sure that these facilities we are building make sense to the fisher folk and to our overall plan of unlocking the potential that exists in the blue economy space. I don't think I have forgotten any issue that I needed to say. I got some notes here. Let me see. Yeah, I think generally I have said what I wanted to say today on this very important conference. And therefore, just to give you my assurance and that of the government of Kenya, working with all our counties, that the blue economy space will not be left behind again. We are stepping up, and we want to unlock the potential that exists in this place. And I must congratulate Mboya University for taking up the challenge of being the blue economy university. We're going to support this university, build the necessary infrastructure to train the highest quality of men and women and human capital in the blue economy space. So with those many remarks, the rest of the issues, and that is why we themed this year's Madaraka, a blue economy Madaraka. And it is a blue economy Madaraka because Homa Bay is the best positioned place for us to have a blue economy Madaraka. And I want to say I'm truly grateful to the people of Homa Bay, to the county government of Homa Bay and all the leaders in this region for putting together this Madaraka celebration that now looks like will be among the best organized, because I can already see the signs. So with those many remarks, I know I need to answer a few questions from these good people. But before I answer those questions, we have Baba in the room. You know, so I want to request Baba to come and make some remarks. and then I will answer the questions.
Thank you. Asante sana. Your Excellency, the President Ruto, the governors, honorable members of parliament, wananchi wote hamjambo. Hamjambo tena. Jituo Saureuru. Oyaore. Unmaver. Thank you. Your Excellency, I was invited here to come and give a keynote address. I prepared some notes that I want to share with this audience here today, this morning. Let's bring it here. Thank you. So, Your Excellency, first, I'm so happy to have been invited to come here this morning, and also to thank you for taking a very keen interest in the economy of this region. Now, I will first share some of the thoughts that I have put down here, after which I will probably then say some things off the cuff. The core purpose of devolution was to enable each part of this country to explore its potential, deploy in it the service of its people, and help unleash an economy that fires on all cylinders. Devolution was pegged on an understanding that no part of this country is too poor to contribute to the betterment of the Project Kenya, and none too rich to single-handedly make Kenya great. Kenya needs all its parts in order to leap forward. Since we started taking national days to counties and assigning specific themes to those celebrations, it has become clear that every part of Kenya has something to offer. Progressively, we have come to the realization that there is more to Kenya than just crops, livestock, and minerals. It is my hope that as we continue on this journey of rotational Madaraka Day celebrations and themes, Kenyans will come to appreciate each other more and build the understanding and trust that are necessary to build a stable and a prosperous nation. We are here to talk blue economy. Just meters from Lake Victoria, the world's second largest freshwater lake after Lake Superior in North America. As we embrace our oceans and lakes and rivers as potential sources of growth under blue economy, we are coming to the realization that there is more to these water bodies than just fish. Blue economy is a relatively new era of focus in our country. Despite only recent focus on this field, Kenya is putting commendable effort, and I believe that in no time we can make this sector one of the top contributors to our national economy and the well-being of our citizens. The government has rightly identified blue economy as a potential source of inclusive economic growth, job creation for the youth and riparian communities, food and nutrition security, sustainable aquaculture, and conservation and climate resilience, among others. For us to realize and maximize on the full benefits of this sector, there are deliberate steps we must urgently embark on as a nation. I will outline a few. But before I do that, Your Excellency, you need to know that these people were originally not fishermen. Luos were pastoralists. As they came down from the north, they were traveling along rivers and lakes. That's why they are called river lake Nilotes. But sometimes in their history, about 200 years ago, their cattle, their stocks were decimated by an epidemic 200 years ago. That's when they turned to the lake, to fishing and to sedentary life at that time. But that pastoralism life is still very much in their blood. These people here, they know how to borrow remo. With the agreement that the blue economy is part of the new trend going into the future, we need to roll out a clearly understood and implementable policy of training and deploying an army of ocean scientists, marine biologists, seafarers, petroleum engineers, fishers, and many other maritime professions to help us explore and exploit the full worth of our maritime bodies. I believe we all agree that we have barely studied what lies in our ocean waters and the ocean floor. We have barely studied our lakes to fully appreciate and exploit what lies in and below them for our use. We have only scratched the surface with regard to our capacity for shipping and water logistics. We have hardly explored our capacity to generate and export seafood, among other items that the rest of the world have invested in from maritime economy. We develop and implement a robust and comprehensive mechanism for management and protection of all maritime life, breeding grounds, to enable life in the water sustain a blue economy. We must also embark on protection of maritime vegetation like mangroves, reeds, and other plants that are known to be critical to the life in the oceans, rivers, swamps, lakes, and all other water bodies, therefore, to green economy. Lake Victoria, just like Lake Turkana, River Tana, and the Indian Ocean have brought forth life that we seek to exploit. We have a responsibility to ensure that life continues to flourish in these bodies. We have to protect the existing mangrove and other swamps, forests, and vegetation, and embark on the replanting of hectares of depleted marine lands. Otherwise, we will lose the entire species of marine lives and undermine the blue economy. So far, the only attempt to conserve marine vegetation, which is also dwindling, has to do with the mangroves in Lamu area. Everywhere else is marine exploitation with zero conservation of critical vegetation regeneration. Let us be firm against pollution. We have to be firm on a single-use plastic ban in order to reduce the non-biodegradable waste entering the marine environment and undermining blue economy. There must be a clear understanding by all, including investors, that there can be no blue economy, or any economy for that matter, through pollution. We must all understand that economic development can't be built on environmental degradation. Only healthy waters will generate wealth. For eternity, we have tended to see and treat our water bodies, including the lakes, rivers, and oceans, as obstacles and dividing lines between communities, regions, and nations. This has to change. We must begin to see Lake Victoria, Turkana, Tana River, Indian Ocean as seaways and links to other people, countries, and other markets. In this regard, the effort by the government to revive and modernize the port system and supporting piers and other infrastructure is highly commendable as a journey towards the realization of the economic potential of the Marines. Your Excellency, the fish stocks in the lake here had been actually dwindling. In the 60s, there was a research that was being carried out by the East African Fisheries Research Institute, which is based in Jinja. It was led by the late Professor David Basau. When they realized that the indigenous fish was dwindling, they decided to import species from other countries. They went to Lake Superior in Canada and bought another species of tilapia, different from the indigenous tilapia known as Tilapia nilotica. They bought another one, which is original ngege. They bought another one, which they bought in the lake. It was called Nyamami, or Giaba. Then they went to Lake Kyoga in Uganda and bought another fish, that is the perch. It's called the Nile perch. The Nile perch was not indigenous to the lake. It was imported from Lake Kyoga. But the Nile perch has a history. It was originally not a freshwater fish. It was in the Mediterranean. Your Excellency, you know, if you bring a saltwater fish into the freshwater fish here, it will not survive. It dies. Like if you take the freshwater fish to the Indian Ocean, it also dies. But this Nile perch moved from the Mediterranean into the Nile Delta, where the water, fresh water coming with the river, mixes with the water from the sea. And then the water in the delta is not very salty. That is how it started to acclimatize itself with fresh water. It started now moving up the river. The fishermen who caught it brought it up the rapids. That's how it managed to come all the way to Lake Kyoga. But from Lake Kyoga, it could not come into the Nile because of the Owen Falls. It is that team led by Professor Wasau that brought it from there and planted it into the lake here to increase the need. And at that time, Your Excellency, the research was based in Jinja for the entire East Africa. And fishing in the lake was not restricted. Kenyan fishermen could go and fish in Uganda waters and also Tanzania waters. The situation has since changed. And therefore, we must go back to the drawing board. Your Excellency, in 1971, there was a coup in Uganda, and a madman called Idi Amin took power. Idi Amin, in his madness, annexed several Kenyan islands and made them part and said this were part of Uganda. In fact, he said that the border between Kenya and Uganda was in Naivasha, and that he was going to redraw the boundary. Although he did not realize his dream, that situation is the cause of our problem right to today. Where is the border between Kenya and Uganda in the lake? When I was the Prime Minister, we appointed a team led by the then Minister for Lands, now the Governor of Siaya, Honorable Orengo, together with the Minister for East African Affairs and the Minister for Foreign Affairs, who is the current Speaker of the National Assembly. and they were tasked to carry out negotiations with the Ugandan counterparts. And those negotiations actually did take place. They went to the regional boundaries, they went to Uganda, they came here to Kenya, they went all the way up to Migingo Island, which was contentious at that time. I heard President Museveni saying that Migingo Island is in Kenya, but the waters around Migingo Island are in Uganda. Now, as they were doing this, Mr. President, it came out that the coordinates that mark the boundary between Kenya and Uganda are based on the river Sio, that where the Sio enters the lake is where you begin to make the coordinates and the angles into the lake. Now, we discovered that river Sio, during one of those floods, had changed its course and left it used to be one foot, but it moved back into the Kenyan side, several kilometers. So now the Ugandans are saying you need to measure from where River Sio is today. But in those days, River Sio was somewhere else. So if you take the coordinates from where River Sio was entering the lake those days, then those islands are in Kenya. There are 5 islands: Sigulu, Remba, Homa, Wayasi, and I don't know which other one. There are 5. Lolwe. So this is a contentious issue that we need to take up with Uganda. We need to take up this issue with Uganda so that this matter is properly resolved. But secondly, we do not see any reason why our fishermen should be harassed in the waters. We need to come up with an agreement that these waters can be exploited generally. In the Indian Ocean, you've got Koreans, Japanese coming to fish in our waters here, and there's nothing we're doing about it. Why should Kenyan fishermen be harassed when they just cross the border here? And let us then also agree with Uganda so that we know exactly where the border is. Ugandans have brought in Marines in the lake, harassing our fishermen. We should also have Marine in the lake. So that our fishermen are not harassed unnecessarily in the lake. Okay? Having said that, there's also, you mentioned it, the issue of clashes of our fishermen in the lake. They're killing each other because of fish. This is stupid. You should not allow this. Jo thura ke kunegru, jo lupo mathura okunego negre nam ni gwach marrech. Which word malicha in? Jo lupo di nam kuja di gore to di negre. But then, Your Excellency, I know that Joho has said he's bringing a helicopter. We need that. We needed it yesterday. A helicopter that will help also the fishermen who are drowning in the lake, so that they can be rescued in good time. So we need more choppers. We also need more boats around, which can fly around and help our people, because we are losing people unnecessarily in the lake. And we should have security so that they can be rescued before they drown in the lake. So, Your Excellency, as a country, we have to work proactively, build local and global partnerships, and promote responsible management of our water resources. We must spearhead a policy of integrated, sustainable marine management founded on knowledge, science, and experience. I thank you. Eru kamano Jaturo. Eru kamano.
Another round of applause. those for Nancy exits. Let's kindly take our seats. And at this point, Your Excellency, Economy, to give us just a quick rundown of the Lake Victoria Spatial Plan before we officially launch it. Pigie makofi tafadhali. You can come in from here.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, all protocols observed. Today my job is very simple. First of all, Your Excellency, is to thank you for allowing the Ministry of Blue Economy and Mining and Maritime Affairs to host this year's Madaraka Day celebrations under the theme Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs. Secondly, I would like to thank His Excellency, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, for gracing this closing ceremony. Thirdly, I would like to thank the Honorable Her Excellency Governor Wanga for your support and collaboration. Your Excellency, allow me also to thank our development partners today here, represented here today by the Country Director for IFAD, Madam Mariatu, and her team, the Country Director for Gatsby Africa, Mr. Samuel Moreidi, and all the other partners here today. Your Excellency, I also want to thank the state corporations who are here today, represented by the chairman and the CEOs, and they have also exhibited. Your Excellency, let me also thank Mboya University, today represented by our VC, for the hospitality you have accorded us. Last but not lastly, Your Excellency, I just want to thank the BMU fraternity, the students for Mboya University, and everybody around this hall and outside for the support you have accorded us. Your Excellency, we have spoken about blue economy and articulated why blue economy is critical for Kenya and the people of Kenya. Therefore, Your Excellency, through the leadership of our Cabinet Secretary, we are developing marine spatial plans, both at the Indian Ocean and Lake Victoria. And today, to close this ceremony, we are very privileged and happy to launch the Lake Victoria Spatial Plan. What does this spatial plan entail to Kenya? This is a strategic framework tool that to support us in the sustainability of exploitation of our resources to bring economic empowerment to the people and also ensure there's food security to our people. We have done this through the partnership of Gatsby Africa. Kindly, Mr. Samuel Karedi and Lucy Kimani, you'll be joining us shortly. And of course, our research institute, Kemfree. So, Your Excellency, with those few remarks, I just want to thank you on behalf of the State Department and the entire institutions under the ministry for the support. I therefore humbly request you, Your Excellency, to join us together with the Right Honorable Raila Odinga to hand over the spatial plan to Cabinet Secretary, His Excellency Hassan Ali Joho, and the Governor of the county government of Homa Bay, Kisumu, and Siaya. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Madam CS. I just want you to hold your horse. Kidogo. Before we do that final ceremony, let me thank the Vice Chancellor of Mboya University for hosting us and the student community here. Thank you very much for welcoming us to your two things, because we are in the compound of the university. Number one, we just completed this building sponsored by the government of Kenya. We're now looking at the Blue Economy Complex that we want. The Vice Chancellor here has asked me, working with the Maritime people, to see how we can put up a center of excellence in matters blue economy at this university. And I have agreed that we are going to look for sponsorship, starting with the government of Kenya, to see how we can achieve that. I have agreed with John Mbadi here that we are going to look for resources to be able to do that. Let me also say to the Tom Mboya University fraternity, I am aware that most of our students live outside the university in not very good environment out there. And it is the reason why we want to do two things. I have instructed the Ministry of Education and Internal Security to work on making sure that extra land is given to Tom Mboya University, especially from the prisons that is here. I think we can take the prisoners to Lambwe Valley. Yeah. Not because it is invested with Sesefly, but because we have space. We have space there. And I think we can better utilize this space for the university here in Tom Mboya. And then, secondly, as you are aware, working with the university, we have now advertised to build hostels for students in this university. Phase one, we are building 2,300 bed hostel here, which will be completed by next year. So we'll come back here next year to hand over hostels for your students. And then as we get more land, we will be able to expand our hostel capacity so that our students can live in conditions that are conducive for learning. And finally, Oremo here, the chair of Oremo here did request that the county government supported the SACCO for the teams and the BMUs in Homa Bay with 2 million. We are going to add you another 5 million, so that and this is for purposes of making sure that we work with you, and I have told the ministry, so that we can progressively replace the fishing gears that you have to make them better. You know, I know we have had challenges of many fishermen being arrested because they are using the wrong gear. I think the solution is not to arrest them. The solution is to replace. The solution yeah, the solution is to replace the wrong gear with the right gear. So, and I am asking also the ministry to look at how we can subsidize the right gear so that it becomes affordable for our teams, and it is done in a sustainable manner. You have heard the statement made by Baba here on all the other aspects, matters environment, making sure that we look after, as we grow trees elsewhere, we also make sure that the marine the marine space is looked after, whether it is the reeds and mangroves and all the other things we are doing in that space, that we need to look after, because as he says in his statement, you cannot build an economy on polluted waters. We have to deal with that. You have had a very strong statement from the Right Honorable Raila Odinga to the people who are fighting. You know, the groups who are fighting. He has said, those people who are fighting there, and you are fighting, killing one another, he has said it is stupid. And you know, and it's only Baba who can say you are stupid. And he can get away with it. I don't think I can. Because you know, with age, you can get away with anything. So, but he has made a solid statement. So, let us not be stupid. Yeah, let's do the right thing. And so let me say again, thank you very much to all of you who have made this event successful. We will be going out to do other things, and also, as the statement was made about building the infrastructure around the lakes and our waters, from Lake Victoria to Lake Turkana. I think we have already deployed some security boats in Lake Turkana, and we are also working on a fish market in Kalogol and Lowerangak in Lake Turkana, as we do it in all the other waters around our country. So thank you very much to all of you, and we really appreciate the partnership between the ministry and the county governments. That partnership is giving us results. And as we complete the infrastructure we are building, the fish markets and all the others, the county governments must take them up, manage them sustainably, work with the private sector so that we can be focused on what we are doing. So asanteni sana. Let me now ask all the other people for us to, and this special plan we are launching here is so that we are organized and we know what to do where. Where are the breeding areas, where it is in which space, and how we can do this together. And finally, we will take up the challenge given to us by Baba on making sure that we establish the right boundaries so that we avoid unnecessary conflict. Thank you very much.
So allow me now to invite the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, CS Joho, Governor Wanga, Raila, and Lucy Kimani to just come and witness as we now launch the Lake Victoria Spa. To open the curtain at the count of 3 once we are arranged, and for this photo opportunity, if we can. All right, and let's give a round of applause and a clap as we do that with the pyros, as that marks the official launch of the Lake Victoria Spatial Plan. Wonderful, wonderful.
Freshwater body on our planet, and aquaculture is the fastest growing protein sector anywhere on Earth. SAWA lays the foundations for sustainable use of the lake for fisheries, transport, and a world-class aquaculture sector in Kenya. With the most advanced spatial plan on the continent, using state-of-the-art metrics, finding the best places to grow fish has never been easier for small and large-scale operations. Knowing how much can be sustainably farmed in any area and what conditions are right for you. helping make Kenya one of the best places in the world to farm fish, paving the way for the economic utilization of